This is Vinyl Voices Radio. ESPN 97.5.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm John Goodman.
Jesse Sudehan.
Ciao, y'all. We are Amanda Pascali
and the family,
and you're listening to
Vinyl Voices.
It's the fourth segment here at Vinyl Voices Radio Show, ESPN 97.5. I'm Jesse. He's John, but he's not here. So over here we have Gladys and Amanda Pascali and the family. We have Frank's Pizza, as always, every week. This week we have Bad Astronaut Beers, and Adley Law Firm is our sponsor for all of this. We're going to talk about a song with Amanda for our fourth segment show, and this one is called I Toss and Turn.
Yes.
So let's listen to it. Do you want to give us the intro, Federico?
Oh, the pressure. So after the song.
All right, after the song. That's good.
I toss and turn until the morning, sighing. The night will meet the day, and still I'm trying. Your eyes will fill my thoughts until I realize the hours that will pass before the sunrise. Eyes that never close will never rest. Hearts will always long for those who loved. I'm captured by your love until the day that fate will follow me toward the grave. L'idea non posso ora chiudermi pace non navichi sta afflitto cori. Lo sai quando caio dai all'assari, quando la vita mia finisce e morì. When fate will follow me toward the grave. When fate will follow me toward the grave.
So tell us the title of the song.
So this is an ancient song dating back to the 1800s, probably earlier, called Mi Votu and Mi Rivotu, which essentially means I turn and I return, I turn again. So I toss and turn. I can't fall asleep. I'm thinking of someone, and they're just in my mind, and I can't. I will never be able to rest.
Yeah. You get the vibe from that without even hearing the lyric, but it's interesting because we, in the show proper, go back and listen to it if you haven't heard it, or check out the podcast. But a lot of what we talked about were songs that felt very like about the resistance or about, you know, that had that punk spirit. But this one is just like, you can tell this is about one person thinking about somebody else. So
It's some blues.
yeah,
No, exactly, and it's her songs, Rosa Balistreri's songs, and these type of Sicilian songs have frequently been compared to blues music and American roots music, invented by marginalized groups here in the U.S. This just raw emotion and pain. I said it multiple times, but it's a universal sentiment.
yeah.
I've
This-
tossed and turned.
Me too.
We all have tossed and turned. Yeah.
And this recording that you just heard was recorded live at our apartment in Palermo when we were there. But we are re-recording it in the studio.
Yeah, so that was a live recording, and in preparation for this release of this record, this project of translated songs, we're in the studio working on an official arrangement of this song where we have Addison doing the cello and the mandolin, but also Federico whistling and playing some classical guitar with it too. As kind of a nod to Ennio Morricone, that wrote the music for a lot of the most famous spaghetti western movies, just as a way to show that the idea of America that we sometimes have is an idea that's actually crafted by people who are not even from here, and how much that foreign lens plays a part in what we view as our own national identity.
Right.
So there's a lot in there, and I can't wait for y'all to hear it when it comes out later this year.
Yeah.
And you mentioned this earlier, but the getting the rights to this it's tricky.
It is because it's kind of like a cross country legal ordeal. With copyright. Copyright laws are different in the U.S. than they are in Italy. I'm doing a translation, which is, as far as the U.S. is concerned, a derivative work, so it's a separate work than the original work. In Italy, that's not necessarily the case of how things go there. So it's a whole battle that is not a musical thing. It's like strictly legal.
Yeah. So it's not like Mickey Mouse, right? With public domain, or it's.
Oh no.
I mean, this song's like a couple hundred years old or something.
Yes, but this thing happens where people deposit the song as being their song, and then so this is at least from my understanding of how it works in the Italian law, unless someone goes there and proves that it does not belong to that person, that it is a traditional song, it stays under the ownership of that person. So even though it is a traditional song and everyone knows it is, as far as the Performing Rights Organization of Italy is concerned, it's not. But in America, it might be considered differently. Yeah. We have different, and I'm doing this in America. I'm doing this in English, so who knows?
Yeah.
And people are probably quite protective.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot to have to learn about from just wanting to sing a song and be a songwriter. It's like, now I got to learn about international law.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Going to have a law degree soon, Amanda.
Yeah.
How do you pick a song that, like, if we're putting a collection of songs together that are these kind of reimagined songs, how do you, because I imagine you've heard tons of them, so how did y'all decide which ones you actually, how do you decide what you want to translate and what you guys want to record?
Well, this was actually the first song I ever translated in my life.
Really?
Yeah. And I did it because there was I got asked to do it by a pretty big artist in Italy. because he wanted to make a record of this song in English, which is the first time that that would have ever been done. And I was so excited about this opportunity. And then later on, it was revealed that he didn't want to pay me. He didn't want to like recognize me as being the translator of this song. So it made me think, what if I did this project for myself and for Rosa, to honor her legacy and honor the authors of the original authors or performers of these Sicilian songs, and kind of make it almost like an ethnomusicology research, and also as a way to reimagine the songs in a 21st century lens, and a universal lens as well. You know, being American with multicultural roots, I think I have a unique perspective to bring to this. And so that's how I started with that song. And then the other ones were kind of just like, you know, songs that struck me, and I'm continuing to discover more songs too, but you know, some songs translate better than others. And so, yeah, it's just, I'm discovering more and more every single day, and I tend to choose songs that are more relatable to people in the 21st century and people in the US. I'm especially partial to songs that sound like stories that I've heard before, that people sing here. For example, there are many themes that people sing about in these Sicilian songs that people also sing about in American music, especially in country music.
Sure.
These, you know, the feelings of being frustrated with where you come from, maybe your hometown, like Iris Dement, Our Town, that song about, you know, towns dying, and the you know, the depression that you feel when you go back to your hometown and you remember all the things that happen and your town is dying. I mean, if you go through Sicily, there are so many towns like that, and there are songs about that exact feeling. So I'm partial to those kinds of songs because it's almost like it's the same story, just in a different language.
Yeah, and going back to languages, it's a language that's pretty shrinking. Every day.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And there are lots of different variations of it too, depending on what city in Sicily you're in. And there's also mixtures of Sicilian with standard Italian that sometimes people speak, and yeah, it's very complex.
Yeah. I know being over there, you had some pretty cool opportunities too to do some outside of the box things, if I remember right. Speak to that a little bit, because I think you did some stuff with, did you say UNESCO or?
With the EU Parliament. So
that's right.
Recently, that was recently, it was a few weeks ago actually, we got invited to the EU Parliament to perform these translations as part of an event to honor the Sicilian language.
Nice.
And we were the only ones there who were not from Sicily. We were the only people there that were American, and we were the only people there that, you know, we were kind of coming from this outside perspective. And it's a very delicate situation, because there are a lot of people that feel attacked when they see that you want to come and translate a song. And to those people, I always wonder if those people have ever read a book, a translated book.
Yeah.
Or if they've ever watched a show or a movie that's been dubbed.
Right.
Because if they have, then they shouldn't have a problem with the fact that a song is being translated, unless they, for some reason, didn't want that song to be, you know, disseminated or diffused in other cultures and other parts of the world. I can't imagine why, if you love something, why you wouldn't want other people to experience it as well.
Yeah, especially the way that you all handle it. So, you know, like we've been talking about this whole time, it really is a labor of love, truly, you know, but also it's about putting good music into the world for people that haven't heard this. And so, yeah, why wouldn't someone want that to exist in the world by someone that really is passionate about it, you know, that's handling it right. And it's
Amanda, like you've said many times, it's not that you believe that your translations are a better representation, it's more accessible. And that is the ultimate goal, is that if you're not born, you know, in Sicily, if, you know, you didn't have a first-hand account of, you know, my parents showed me this song or whatever, you might have heritage. Maybe you're an American and you have Sicilian heritage, or you just discover this you know, great legacy that Rosa has left through the English translations. Like, that's worth it in itself. And even if you don't like Amanda's translations, you get to the like source material, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Ciao.
A lot of people think that I make translations for an American audience, like that I am Americanizing Sicilian songs, and those people, I think that think that they don't know that English is the most widely spoken language in the world, and that most of the English speakers in the world are not native English speakers. They're not people that were, you know, born and raised in America. There are people all over the world. There are people in India, people in sub-Saharan Africa. There are people here. There are people in Europe, in other parts of Europe. And there are people like my parents that learned English as a second language, as kind of this bridge language where they can understand other things or reach other things and connect with people through that linguistic medium.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's really the reason why I chose English. I'm lucky to speak English as my native language, but I don't choose it because I think it sounds more beautiful. On the contrary, I choose it because it's the most widely spoken language in the world, and through that I can communicate with people all over the globe.
Yeah, that's the point. So, yeah, well, again, thank you very much for coming to the show, telling us all about, you know, what we can look forward to in 2024. We're going to be following you. Everybody out there, please, Amanda Pascali, she said, all you got to do is type her name in. You're going to find her.
There's only one.
There's only And we had her here tonight, so thank you again. Thanks to Gladys Fuentes for filling the seat for John Denman. Thanks to DJ Muskratch, as always, Jason Esparza, Frank's Pizza, Bad Astronaut, Adley Law Firm. That's it. We're out. Good night.
Bye.
I'm captured by your love until the day.
This is Vinyl Voices, brought to you by Adley Law Firm, Houston's personal injury attorneys for 30 years.
The grave.